Hey y'all, it's me coming on today. I know I've said I was going to do a live, but my voice has been going in and out. So I don't really feel comfortable, at least when I do these versions. I can edit it just in case I go into a coughing fit. But I was in bed, and I'm going to probably do it tomorrow. So I'm hoping, because each day it feels like it's getting better, but today was like even more stuffy. But I think it's the breakthrough point. So I'm hoping tomorrow will be the day, if not Friday. But I really want to do this live. I just don't want to break out into coughs and waste all our time watching me go into a fit, okay? But I was lying in bed because I told myself, I'm like, oh, maybe if I just, have a hot tea, go to bed early, and deal with this, I'll feel better. Tomorrow it'll amp me up. But I do have to say something because this has been lingering since last night to today, and I feel like there's a correlation, and I know that I had to get out of bed and say this message because it was like not letting me go. And what it was that last night I went out to karaoke with some friends of mine, and when I had left my house pretty late, like to catch up with my friends that had already been there for some time. So for some reason, I stayed there quite late, and I heard the announcement. Last call at the 222, because the place I go to is called 222. Oh, that's it, just the number 222. So something about that kind of sat with me. It was like last call at the 222, and I don't know why. It's not like I've never heard that in my life before, but that stayed with me. And for those of you that don't know what a last call is usually like when the alcohol's running out, or not running out, but they're stopping service. And what happens is that you'll notice if you go to places, like the music will change, it'll get slower, and slowly, you have like an hour left to get out of wherever you are. So the funny thing was that I came outside, I was looking for my friend, and I thought maybe she jumped into the place next door. And so I go in and I walk around, and then again, I hear them doing that call out for last call. So again, it wasn't that important until I started going through this today. And today, like I was just tending to my regular life, and I have to share this, so please stay with me because it's important. I was getting this song, Closing Time, over and over and over again. And I asked, I believe, the Lord put this on my chest today. And meaning God, Father, Mother God, I genuinely was like hearing this song. And sometimes that's how he speaks with me. She's the I am speaks through song sometime. But this one was very important because not only was I hearing like the same sentence, I kept hearing the full song over and over and over again. So I want to share this with you guys because I think it's really intrinsic. I think what's happening is, and I'll sing it so that or to a degree, so you guys know, because these lyrics are sort of qualifying what I think has been going on. Realistically, like you guys know, I said that solar, when the moon and the sun had gone through that eclipse season just recently, and something was eclipsed out, and then I think there was this cycle coming to an end for a lot of us, either karmic cycles or just things that are cyclical loops that we have been facing. Now the thing is, I'm gonna say the lyrics because I think there's a huge message in this, simply because of what I've been thinking, what I think the collective has been thinking. Like most of us are like, oh, is this a Christic consciousness coming to us? Is this Jesus that's coming to us in this time? And I've been feeling like this time is running out. Like if you followed me, there was like a repentance time. There was like a sifting time. And I can honestly say that for myself, I feel like since the solar eclipse, I've been making amends with like a lot of loose ends in my life. And as you guys know, I was doing certain maneuvers, certain things, certain trips, all to kind of close off a lot of dead ends or a lot of dead cords or whatever or energy cords that just needed to be cut and dealt with. So I'm going to say this, and I will hope this resonates with one of you or some of you, because this really hit me when I started looking at the lyrics closer and closer. So the song is an old one. It's from like the 90s. I remember it being on the radio when I was a kid, but it goes, closing time, open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time, turn off all the lights on every boy and every girl. Closing time, one last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. Closing time for you to go to the places you will be from. Closing time for you to go out to the places you'll be from. Closing time, this room won't be open till your brothers and your sisters come. So gather up your jackets, move it to the exits. I hope you have found a friend. Closing time, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. And I know who I want to take me home. And I know who I want to take me home. And I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. So it basically goes on like that, but the last part is comes from some other beginning's end. And as it's basically the same, the closing time part over and over. I didn't want to sing all that because there were some key factors in this that I think were very important. Like as I had said, why I thought this was kind of correlated with the last call thing was because this particular song has to do with closing up a bar, right? So I was like, why is it that I haven't heard this song in like a million years? It's playing in my head over and over and over and over and over again today. And it was like all the lyrics, like I remember it vividly from childhood, but anyways, so when I saw that I had that alcohol part of it, and I was like, maybe it's attached to the last call thing. But what I found really interesting in the lyrics was this idea of taking me home, taking me home, taking me home, and saying that we have to get our brothers and sisters to come. That was very interesting. And every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. So the feeling I'm getting is like, I don't know if you guys have heard me before, but I've said this. If you've never watched my videos, please watch some of my previous videos that have to do with the channelings. Because the thing is like this idea that we want this new beginning of the world to turn into either 5D consciousness or to shift into 5D consciousness. Now, the thing is that for most of my time, I'm not like a Bible thumper or anything like that. I've read my Bible. I've read many books. But the point of what I'm getting at is that I get somewhat conflicted because I feel like I think in not only a 5D sense, but a 3D sense. And for some reason, even 12 years ago, I had said where I knew that this was going to be the beginning of something of a golden age, etc. But the feelings that I can't shake is that I still principally feel like the whole Christed consciousness setting forth on this planet is part of this new age or new era. Now, the thing is that where I can't shake myself either is when I deal with Mother Gaia, who makes me feel this impending feeling of a lot of overturn in our world, obviously, like I've been saying before. But the more information I get is that it feels like there's this feeling of like God may be calling this closing time. So it's like as if like what happens at closing time is you try to find your friends, you try to get hold of everyone that came with you, pick up your jacket, pick up your stuff, pay off your bill, pay off your tab, maybe aka karma in that metaphorical sense. And then you have to leave and go somewhere else. You can't stay at that location, meaning like sometimes I think to myself from this, like, does that mean Earth? Like we won't be able to be on Earth. And then at the same time, we want to go home. So it's like, even though we We can't stay here on this planet. We have our souls keep asking for this take me home aspect. Now, obviously in the song they're talking about like a real physical home, but what I'm saying is when the Lord put this on my heart, I was just like, okay, like what is this trying to explain to me? So then I said to myself, I was like, okay, I was like, what is this referencing? I said, what is this referencing, Dad? And then I was like, does this have to do with the solar eclipse? Can you give me a time frame? And all I heard was the lunar cycle. So I know that today is the beginning of the lunar cycle. I think it's in Taurus. I'm not an astrological person really. Like obviously I can see the moon, but I'm saying that I think today is the first day because I've heard that a couple of times in the mix the last couple of days. But that made me think like, okay, so the lunar cycle is commencing. So I imagine that's 28 days from now because I think that's how long a lunar cycle is. I could be incorrect. But I did want to share this, and I know it's kind of corny that I sang, but I wanted you guys to like hear the song if you've never heard it. Because if I just said the lyrics, you'd be like, what is this woman talking about? But if I sing it, it kind of puts the lyrics together with maybe a remembrance of the song. But yeah, go check it out. I'm getting the feeling because of how everything is felt up until this time that this may be the beginning, like it said, the beginning of an end. So if this is the cycle closing out, like let's say that cycle I said with the lunar, let's say for example, all closing cycles, like if you could imagine like a wheel, when the wheel's turning or finally doing its revolution, it does take some time to shift into that progression. Even though it's like, let's say for example, if a cycle is called, let's say on the first of a month, it will take maybe that whole amount of time for that door to shut fully. So the feeling I'm getting is that because I felt like this has been such a crucial time, I feel like the solar was like an apex point, the solar eclipse. And then afterwards, it's like we feel the residue of that energy wave. And also the masculine and feminine does this phase in and phase out. And that could even apply for all of you guys that are on a twin flame journey. Maybe you've managed to figure out how to mesh your masculine and feminine within yourself, because that is ideally what the twin flame journey is trying to refer to. But I'm saying it's like, if that is the case where it's this form of harmony, because that's what happens, yin, yang, masculine, feminine come together. So that would mean that we're in this harmonious time. And I have truly felt that too, because I feel like for several weeks now, even though I got sick, I do feel like the energy is lightened up so much in the sense of like a placidness. And I kept referring to these storms previously. And in some ways, it's like we have these crashing storms, but this particular energy that I felt this last little while has been quite calming, because a lot of things that I've manifested are kind of coming into play. I'm not trying as hard, like energetically, like I find. So I don't know if you guys have been feeling that too. So I feel like maybe this is the calm before the storm, or another storm. But in essence, I feel like this closing out might be just finalizing. And the thing is that closing time does give us a little time, but it's a finality. So and then it makes me think about Yeshua, because I was like, we're all waiting for that. We're all waiting for this Christed consciousness to illuminate fully, or to have our King return. So the reason why we always say Yeshua, and the thing is like, trust me, I am a learned person. I know that Yeshua is a very young story, okay? I genuinely just feel like Yeshua is the principles, like he's the son of God of the all. So it's like, in a sense, like all avatars are important, but Yeshua, let's just put it this way, took it next level, and he has a Christed consciousness that a lot of beings actually try to be in within galaxies and universes. So it's not like he was not an important character across the universe. It's not even just here on this little dokey planet that we're on in the middle of the end skirts of the Milky Way. Like this guy, I mean, that isn't, Yeshua is probably not his name. Others have called him different names. But anyways, I do feel like maybe this is kind of like a sign. And if you guys have not seen, I did post on my other channel, which is just channelings right now. I had tapped into Mother Mary, And she was talking 2 days ago about how we shouldn't be paying attention to these illuminations in the sky, that a lot of these things that are happening in the sky are not real, and that basically if it is of her or is of Yeshua, that we should not be fixating on those because that is not really them. And she had said that she was going to actually come to some, it looked like nuns. They looked like nuns within, I think it was Geneva. No, not Geneva. Sorry, was it Geneva? I think it was Geneva. Okay, I could be wrong. Sorry, I don't have my writings in front of me. But it's like, it's making me think, and then not to say that I've never tapped into Mother Mary before. Like I said, when I was younger, she used to kick my ass. But I can say that, like, she's not somebody who wants to share words all the time. Like, it's not her MO. It's not, like, she's very loving, she's very understanding, and she's very nurturing. However, it's like she only speaks when she really needs to say something. So when she was exclaiming that these sightings in the sky are not of God, they're not of Jesus, they're not of her, and that we should pay attention to it. And then I get this today about this closing time. It makes me feel like it just screams Yeshua in my heart, or like some type of epic type of finality that brings forth this new age, And the thing is that, like, I feel, and I also know that I keep hearing for at least several weeks now that what is that symphony? Is it the Battleground? I don't know. I think it's called the Battleground. Dun 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 na 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 dun 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 na 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 na. I've been hearing that tune in my head for some time too, because it's like it gives me the feeling, because of how many different whirling things have been happening in this world. It's like when we try to get a fix or a handle on what's going on, we truly can't. We don't have a true compass other than our heart and our hermiting and what we're doing. Like, I think that's also why a lot of us chosens and starseeds had to get rid of everybody, because of the feeling I'm getting, and this is something that I want to share as well, is like, let's just say, for example, okay, I've had dreams of ships coming, okay, I've had, and people being put on the ships, and I've seen people watching as the world goes through a lot of turmoil. So there's been those visions, and it's like, in a weird way, I feel like all possibilities could be possible. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, in a weird way, the whole feeling, I feel like, or at least what we've been conditioned to within a starseed chosen path, is that maybe the reason why we have to eliminate all these people is because, like I said about this lifeboat feeling, is like maybe as leaders, or those that are, illuminated on the light path, we're only going to be able to take like the really close stronghold. And I don't know what that means, to take, because the thing is, I feel like either the Lord's going to come and protect us, or we're going to be put on ship and protected, or there's going to be some way that we know where to go in the world that's safe. Because even a long time ago, Mother Gaia was giving me places in the States, more inland. I even said that in channelings before about certain states to move to, probably because they won't be hit with as much cataclysm. So it makes me think that perhaps as chosen starseeds, etc., might be told to go places at this time. So this song, like, wouldn't leave my head all day. It was just like playing over and over, and that usually doesn't happen to me. Like, I don't get songs like that all the time. So and the fact that the lyrics were kind of tied in with what happened to me yesterday about the closing of the bar, and it was just weird. It was like, I didn't know why that last call really like hit me. It's like, I don't know why it did. And both times that it happened, it was like striking to me, like as if like, pay attention to this, and I did. And then I got this song today. So I just wanted to say that this is an impromptu video, because realistically, I was in bed and it just kept getting louder and louder in my head. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go make a video. Like, I don't fight spirit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so I do feel like if there are things that you need to fix, say sorry for, make amends. This is the time. And I feel like everything I've been talking about, and not so much me, because I am the channeler, I am just the messenger, but it seems like the main factors tend to be around repentance, making amends, really not acting a fool right now, like really being on your P's and Q's as a soul person, as a person in general. And like, if you are messing up, repent is like big in my heart right now, and has been for some time. And to really get a fix on who's important, and I mean like as chosens, etc., like we have been so isolated to the point that, like, for example, with me, okay, if I had to go anywhere, I got 2 people to take, my son and my mom. That's it. I love all the rest of my family. If I could take more, sure, but in my heart of hearts, if there was ever any 2 people in the world that I would be worried about, it's them. So there's this underlying feeling I've had for so long, and I feel like it's been, my videos have been marching to the beat of this drum. And I'm so small of a platform, but I'm just going to keep saying it because I don't know who will hear this, but I feel like we have to make huge considerations as to who's most important, who is it that we want to bring with us. And this feeling of like, don't get fooled, like I said with Mary's whole message, like, don't get fooled by all the glitz and the glam in the sky. Don't get fooled by preachers. Like, I've been talking about this too, like about the fugazis, about the fakes. It's like we really need to be on point with our discernment, because I feel like this is the time to do it. Like, there's no more time. So I really hope this message gets to the ears that need to hear it, because I have many people I can ask things to. But the thing is that, like the Bible says, and I know that I'm not just a Bibler because I'm a big ancient history buff, and I know there's way older books, but for some reason I do when it comes to certain things. And Revelations, like I said, was one that always was told for me to pay attention to, which I've also been following for some time, and you've seen in my videos. But that idea of a thief in the night, meaning like we won't know the time or day when this happens. No one knows. And here's the thing too, and I'll be honest, you guys don't have to believe me. I know I talk to the angels. I know I talk to avatars. I don't give a crap or shit what anyone thinks, okay? At the end of the day, if you choose not to listen to me, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But if you are listening to me, what I will say is none of them, okay, will answer those questions. Like, I've asked Father, Mother. I've asked all the angels I talk to. I've even asked the other side, because they can be a little more willing to give up information if you're willing to scratch their back. No one knows. No one knows. The only person that may know is Yeshua. And I'll be honest, Yeshua is one that is very highly hard to get in touch with. And you like, not to say that I couldn't, like if I was in dire, but I could never do a channeling unless he wanted to. But could I reach out to Yeshua at any time? Yes. Would I be in a channeling situation with Yeshua? It's only happened to me 2 times in my life. And I've been blessed every time to even make any type of like connection with Yeshua. But what I'm saying is, like, Yeshua might be the only one, but I am being honest. No one's given up the ghost. So it's this idea of like, it has to be a secret. It has to be so that no one knows. And why that is important, I don't know. But God is a masterful writer. So I never, ever, 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 I can honestly say studying God's writing my entire life has made me so much more amazed at the artistry of God's writing. Like, and what I mean by writing, I mean like the mastery of your life eloquence and your blueprint and what comes out into the world. Because you have to understand that in my personal life, his serendipitousness and her serendipitousness and accuracy and just amazing comedic humor that takes place in our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like I was talking to a girlfriend that I've had for a very, very long time. And I have never been honest with my old friends, the ones that are cut off from me now. Because the way it worked out was during COVID, I lost my friends, and then I got turned on to my abilities and attached to God, and in loving reverence of God again. I would say a year and a half ago. But I had already lost those friends like 2 years prior. Like I was in the midst of losing them. I didn't know I was going on to my ascension journey at that time, and everything was happening like that. But the funny thing was, and I was saying this out because one of the friends that I managed to keep, like a 30-year-old friend, I was never honest with her because I genuinely have never been that way my whole life, telling people what I was into that I could channel. Like this just all started for me again a year and a half ago. So the thing was that my friend, she's one of those people that's really scared of death and things like that. So I don't really talk to her about this stuff. But she actually asked me, she goes, Ashley, like, what was it like for you? Like, what was going on? And I go, you know what? All that time back when I refused God's call, the reason I refused God's call was because I was young and I felt like everyone was going to think I was crazy, and I felt like I was going to lose all those important people, my family, my friends. The ironic thing, and this is what I mean about God as a brilliant writer, is that when I did kick back on, meaning like a year and a half ago, everything that I had been worried about was already gone. It's like when I made that decision to not take my mission, to not take my path all that time back, what happened is that by the time God revoluted back into my life, I had lost all of those friends. I had lost all of those family members, all of those interconnections to that world I lived in. They had all fallen away. Can you believe that? It's like the sheer comedic like genius behind this was like, wow, like in that whole procession, the people I never thought I was ever going to let go of, I did on my own because we were never meant to be. But that was my crutch and my catalyst as to why I didn't want to do it last time. And funny enough, when I come back on this time, they're all gone anyways. And it was like, wow, so what I feared became my reality. You know what I'm saying? So I was so petrified. But as I fought through those years, because the truth came out at this point a year and a half ago. The truth was that I always was a light bearer. The truth was that I was always going to come on to my path. If it wasn't then, it was going to be now. And the thing is that my fear manifested itself within my life, and it actually eliminated all of the things that I was so terrified of losing all that time back became my real reality now. So the funny thing is that God has a wicked sense of humor, because if you had told me 10 years ago, oh, you're going to lose all your friends in 10 years, I would have been like, oh yeah, sure. I've been with them for 30. Why am I going to give up on them now? You know what I mean? But the funny thing was that by the time I got called in again, I was already like, oh, everybody's eliminated. You know, the boyfriend, the ex, all the karmics that I had gone through, all of my, hedonistic old friends. It was like, and as I was saying this to my friend yesterday on the phone, she was like, wow, that's actually really interesting. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, I was so petrified to lose you all that I didn't go for it, and then I ended up losing you all anyways. Isn't that ironic? And I was like, that's hilarious. But I'm gonna do an energy read, so I thought I would just share that with you guys, because God is a masterful writer. That's what I'm saying. At this end times, like, everything is symbolic, everything is energetic, everything has a message. So this is my message for you guys. It's closing time. We gotta, finish up, drink all our whiskey and beer, whatever the case may be, get it done, and be ready and vigilant and discern, because this seems like it's coming to an end. And that end will be the new beginning, because as the song said, like, for every new beginning comes some other beginning's end. And that's what was really like, I honestly was blown away by this song. And not just that, the whole like, this closing time, this room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come. It's like as if like until like all of the brothers and sisters show up, and that could even mean all of us light bringers on this planet. So maybe we're in the last stretch of getting all of the 144 on or something. Because the realistic, what I find very interesting is there's a gentleman that I watch, another fellow channeler, and he's amazing. I forget his name right now, but he he gets tapped in and he actually speaks through it. I could probably do that too if I was really quiet and if I was just watched. You know what? That's not a bad idea. To actually just channel and speak, because I can't do it on a camera, so to speak, when I'm looking at you guys. I can only do it if I'm really, zoned in. And that's why I do the writing, because I can do it through the visuals and write in real time. Whereas like if I was channeling through my body to speak, it would have to require a lot more concentration. But anyways, long story short, he's always in contact with the Galactic Federation of Light, GFL. He's always in contact with what's it called? He's always in contact with Metatron, etc. Not to say that I couldn't be either, but what I mean is that he gets updated on how many star seeds have arrived and have taken the call, and so far it's 113,000. So I think, funny, Metatron. I was just saying that. I just was shuffling and this card came out. So maybe that's part of the message today. So I'm going to keep that. So anyways, yeah, it's only 113 according to him. And I've been watching him for years now. So that number was stagnant at 109 for the longest time. Wow. Second card is Angel Ariel. Okay, so we got the 6th chakra. Whoa. This is crazy, guys. These are flying out. It's all angels. I'm not kidding. Angel of love. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Ooh, shoot. Patience. Well, the world. That's the last one that flew out. Okay. This is a very interesting read because this seems... Okay, I'll show you guys. 6th chakra, Metatron. 2nd chakra, Archangel Ariel. 7th chakra, which is Archangel Uriel. Then we've got the Angel of Love, and we've got Patience, which also looks like another angel, and then we have the World. So this is what I'm trying to say about this time, guys. I hope we're all paying attention. To see, I've never, and you guys have seen, I've done these readings a lot. I've never seen this many angels just bust out all at one time. So not only does this heighteningly tell me that we are all protected in this time, we have to have patience, and basically what we're going to be receiving is the world. And if you look at this, see what I'm saying? We don't have to go home, but we have to get out of here. And it's we all want to go home to this external idea of what home is. So it's this guy's at the edge of a dock looking off into this external place. So it's kind of maybe the new world. We want to go home is the new world, whatever that may be. Maybe it is the transition of a vibration of resonance that we shift consciously from the 3D to the 5D. And it will be an envisionment of the exact same simulation we see here, but it will actually be another physical planet. I mean in the material, because realistically, all harmonization can hold multiple versions. The multi-world version exists. And not even just that. It's there can be multiple worlds that we're not aware of. So maybe that's what this means. It's maybe we're finally getting to that apex moment when all of us are here. Yeshua comes back. Things pop off. And those of us that are on this, we get to take our family, because it seems like we're waiting at the edge of a bay to take people with us, or our closest family, and go to this new world. So I don't know, something about that card is screaming that to me, considering the message of the day today. And so basically Metatron, who controls and oversees the Akashic, that's very important, because I would say Metatron, some people could say, Sandalphon and Metatron are somewhat of, I feel they're different, but I'm saying Metatron I know is the keeper, or, geometrically shaped. I think he's seen as I don't know if you've seen a cube, or I'm trying to think of, what is it, a tetrahedron, something to that effect. So he's also known to harbor a lot of information when it comes to geometrics, or the makeups of this matrix and or of material, of matter, etc. So not only is he the holder of the Akashic, he also is very brilliant in the sense of knowledge of a geometric nature. And then Archangel Ariel. Ariel is one of the few female, I mean, at least in the Bible, etc., one of the few female, so this, yeah, and this is another thing too. Metatron is the only male, I'll say, the only male angel, even though Uriel should be a male too, because I've channeled Uriel, and Uriel's a male, but Ariel, I've never channeled, but I do pray to her, provided she's the only archangel I've heard of that is female. I'm sure there are other female. I've only met one other one that was female, but it's mainly men from what I've noticed. Why that is, I don't know. The angel of love. I can honestly say what I'm getting from this. If you can see, she has this beautiful hedge set of like beautiful flowers. And even though she's very angelic and beautiful, she seems to be really hoping or aspiring for this heart, like as if to say like she's like regardless of all of her beauty and all of what she has, it's like the one thing she's truly waiting on and looking for is this love or this heart. So it seems like she's in a solemn state trying to uphold and to hold on, and also at the same time there's a preciousness to this idea of the heart and love that I want to express in that card. And then the patience, again, with this time, we had patience almost every freaking time. See, that's what I'm saying. If you're on this journey, you're always in patient time, because you're either patient or you're not patient. So I think this all comes into place. So if I am going to look at this, and give me a second here, I'm going to look at this in a sentence format. And this is something I also want to say. If you look at Metatron's eyes, his look very directed. If you look at all of these other girls in the pictures, they all look like they're looking off. They're not looking directly, okay? So they're all looking to yonder. They're all looking somewhere else. They're not paying attention. So they're all looking in different directions. And the only two that are looking straight is Patience and Metatron. And they do have very similar brilliance drawings, the same. So I'm going to say that if I were to look at this, I would say that Metatron holds and encapsulates all the information and all the Akasha of the world. So at this time, if Metatron is the forefront coming out, I would say that he's taking major record of what is going on at this time, of all records, of all things, because like I said, I feel like this time is upon us, and I wouldn't even say judgment time, but like this closing time, I think it's like, and I've said this before, that musical chairs feeling, etc. And Metatron is keeping immaculate record of everything that is taking place at this time. All the checks and balances are being accounted for. So I feel like that's the case. And when it comes to these three angels, I feel like they are here for a protection, and also maybe to specifically to the feminine nature, because I feel like the feminine energy, but they all look sad and disappointed. So I feel like maybe there's this thing where like I'm getting, not only are they protecting us, but they probably empathically feel all the woes of the heart and the woes of the world. And I feel like at this time they're just waiting patiently in this patient energy, just like us, and they're praying and hoping that everything pulls through. Like, and it's not to say that God doesn't have us covered. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like more in a sense of like the woe of it all. You know what I mean? Because it's like as we ascend out of our bodies when we pass away, like yes, we are not aware of our death, but at the same time, it's like, it's not to say that we don't, some of us encounter horrific things on our way out. So maybe it's giving me this feeling, and the more I touch it, is like they know that the best is going to come, but at the same time, the woes of the world that are being felt right now are being felt. And it's like, I feel like there's this, oh, when are they gonna, get to come here feeling from these three cards. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, they all look like they're just patiently waiting, like, and you're just like, oh, they'll get here someday. You know what I mean? So it's like, because I said this whole thing about us and all of them not knowing when the time comes, it's like even the angels don't know what time this all happens, in a sense. And the feeling I'm getting is that even though they're all stationed, even though they're all prepared, there is this sadness and there's this like ho-hum feeling because no one is truly in awareness of what's happening in the sense of like when this will all pop off. And then lastly, it's like we're all being told to be patient at this time, because what we can achieve from this patience and this time of reckoning, finality, closing off, is the world, this new world. So I hope that helps, guys. I know this was a little random, and you know what's funny, I didn't cough. So I think tomorrow's the day I'm going to do this live, and I'm going to be talking about ascension, and I'll have it properly ready. Not properly, I mean, I'm going to keep up with points and such, but yeah, I just wanted to share this message because this ominence that we're all feeling, it's like, you ever go to like, I know it's going to sound so morbid, but have any of you ever gone to a cemetery late at night? And if you have, there's this ominous feeling that you get when you're in a cemetery, like you're being watched, or it's very tranquil, yet you don't know why it's tranquil, because we're supposed to think that there's spirits that are going to come out of every bush and cranny. So you're a little hypertensive because you don't know if that's all true. But at the same time, it's very pleasant because you can hear the bats, you can hear the owls, you can hear etc. So it's like, in a weird way, I feel like there's this ominous feeling where we're in this very good state of tranquility, but yet we're still a little because it's like we're a little tense, because some part of us is like, this doesn't seem normal. Like not to say that we shouldn't live in this airy feeling of life, or this abundance of life. It's not that. It's like, I don't feel like there's gonna be like I think it's just gonna be a merrily journey into this next phase. Because I know this sounds really weird, but I feel like the chosen, etc., might just transfer into a dream, or transfer into this consciousness, and perhaps the rest of the world that did not come on, and maybe we're waiting so diligently for all of you guys to come on, like this said, the brothers and sisters to come, because it's like, and like these angels, they're all waiting for, you know what I'm saying? They're all waiting. They're all waiting, patiently waiting. And maybe that's where the ominous comes from, because they're like, how many are going to show up? How many are going to make it? That's actually a better way of describing what I was feeling off of these cards. Because the thing is, that is not to be determined yet. Obviously, God knows how all situations play out, and especially angels like Metatron, because they have such a vast understanding. Like Metatron is very, very high up in terms of, and I don't mean this in hierarchy, I just mean this in expansive consciousness. Like if you could imagine like the largest IBM computer that could ever exist in a crystalline template, like the amount of information is astronomical. We cannot even fathom this, because it's not just of this planet. It's like all, everywhere, all life, everything in life, bugs, everything is accounted for. So it's like, I truly feel like this is a very, very bespoke time. This is a very, very interesting time. So I just wanted to share this. This is the read for the week. And I would say let's watch out for the end of this moon cycle, because I don't know how long we got. But that's it, guys. If you like what I'm saying, please like, please share, please subscribe. Have a great night. Bye-bye for now.